we will be discussing about zero trust architecture, which is a modern cybersecurity framework built on the principles of never trust, always verify. Unlike traditional security models that assumes everything inside a corporate network is safe, zero trust treats every access request, whether it's from inside or outside the network, as potential threat until it is verified. This shift is critical because today's IT environment are no longer confined to office networks. With cloud computing, remote works, and also IoT devices, the security approach is absolute over this one. So zero trust ensures that only authenticated and authorized user devices can access specific resources uh, of the organization and minimize the risk of breaches and the insider threats and also lateral movements by any attackers from inside or outside. Well, why zero trust is so essential in this current modern infrastructure with the current modern infrastructure? Well, the need for zero trust system is from three some of the major challenges. Like there are 4 to 5 challenges. One is it dissolves the network perimeter and avoids sophisticated attacks and regulatory pressures, and also protects your internal and external assets. First, first employee now access company data from multiple locations, like home office, public Wi-Fi, or when they are traveling, even mobile office. The traditional firewall is ineffective. It could be sometimes no someone can bypass it, someone can bypass that one when they are traveling, or they can perform any kind of a malicious attack. So there are possibilities. So for example, we can take a 2020 solar wind attack. Hacker used compromised credentials to access sensitive government data. It is one of the biggest attack which happened in 2020. And some of the regulatories like GDPR, HIPAA, and other mandatory requires a strict data access controls, which zero trust enforces through least privilege access for continuous verification for each and every employee, and also who not only the person who is a below executive, but the person who is working as a managing director, or else the vice president of the organization, or the CEO or CTO. With zero trust architecture, organization risk financial. Without zero trust architecture, organization may face financial penalties, reputational damage, or operational disruptions because they didn't implement it. Because they might, uh, if they are working in the traditional, using the traditional security, they might there might be a chances that it could there could be any kind of a cyber attacks. So implementing zero trust security, zero trust architecture is the best way to protect your infrastructure. Some of the core principles of the zero trust architecture is continuous verification. Every access request is validated in real time using multi-factor authentication and behavioral analytics, uh, or device health check. For instance, if an employee logs in from a new device at an unusual time, the system has to flag that one, because no employee should access any data from a new device without informing the manager or else the uh, stakeholder. And next is the least privilege access. Users should get only minimum permissions needed for their role, like the granular access, or read only access, or instead of providing a admin or global access, it has to be limited. As a financial team member can't access read and write R&D data, reducing the insider threat, because they doesn't don't need those data, because they since they are into the finance. And microsegmentation is one of the major microsegmentation plays a major role. Networks are divided into isolated zones. If hackers breach one segmentation, like hatch HR systems, because sometimes they are more vulnerable always, uh, they can't pivot to a critical infrastructure, and they can't move to another network because it is isolated from into the one net isolated to one network. Next is the devices and user trust scoring. Access decision considers risk signaling of outdated softwares and the geolocation anomalies. When the user tries to log in from different location, like he leaves the country without notifying the manager or anyone, and tries to log in from different location, this has to be flagged and notified, and access has to be blocked without thinking, because it could be the user, but still it has to be verified until and unless the user informs. Next is the encryption everywhere. If the data is in the rest, the data has to be encrypted, even though if the data is in the rest or in the transit, ensuring the confidentiality. Even if this is intercepted, it should not be decrypted. It has to be, yes, so strong that it cannot be decrypted. For example, in a real world, Google's Beyond Corp, which requires employee to authenticate it via device certification and awareness check before accessing internal apps, even on Google's own network. Well, let's discuss about implementation and business impact. Adapting zero trust overnight project is very complex. First, we need to start with identity governance and enforce multi-factor authentication and single sign-on. Next, applying the network microsegmentation to isolate the critical assets like databases and production environments, using tools like software device defined perimeter, and replace VPNs with dynamic access control. And we can and build policies based on the user access build policies based on the user roles and responsibilities, instead of providing granular access instead of global access. And we can then can the finally we need to monitor it continuously to detect anomalies, using special tools like EDR, XDR, and SIEM tools, and implementing DLP tools to identify for data theft and uh, data theft, and also a centralized log monitoring tool for forensic analysis. The business impact is for the business impact is like companies like Microsoft reduces breach risk by 50% after implementing zero trust. It is also simplifies the compliances audit as a granular access logs demonstration, uh, which they are adhere to the regulations, because they have implemented the entire security, implement most of the security tools, and also the policies based on zero trust, which is a strong security which requires for all of the compliances like GDPR, high trust, HIPAA. So zero trust architecture is a scalable, starting with MFA and endpoint protection, can block 99% of attacks. Let's in simple words, zero trust is no longer optional. It is a strategic imperative. As cyber threats evolve in the using AI and other means, organization must shift from trust but verify to verify and never trust. I would say that implementing the IAM network security and following the NIST standards, with this implementing of these principles, I would say it would be a strong cybersecurity uh, strong cybersecurity architecture, which can protect your in-house and production environments without any issues. like the specifics, like some of the specifics like healthcares for HIPAA, and financials for finance for PCI and TSS. And it also helps to save cost and savings, and prevent breaches, and streamlined audits, which can protect the infrastructure and also internal assets. Thank you.